All right, we got one last part to go over with these using trig ratios assignment, and it's on the back. So it's asking you to do something different. What it wants you to do is to use a calculator to evaluate these trig function values. So remember how we've been dealing a lot with like sine of theta. Well, theta is an angle, and sometimes we actually know what that angle measurement is. And if you have something like sine of 13 degrees, that's actually going to be a set value, regardless if you have a small triangle or a very large triangle. If they have a 13-degree angle in it, the ratio of the opposite length over your hypotenuse is going to be the same for both because these are going to be similar triangles. And so you can actually use a calculator to find the sine of 13 degrees or cosine of 85 degrees. And so we're going to do that. So what you're going to do, let's start with our first one, sine of 13 degrees. You're going to have to open up either your physical calculator, you can use any scientific calculator, or you can open up the Desmos online scientific calculator, and you can put these things in. And what you want to look for is the button that says sin, which is sine. For this one, it's in the bottom left. You just push the button, and it gives you sine. And we want to do sine of 13 degrees. And in the middle here, right above the numbers, there's a little toggle, and it switches between rad and deg. Deg is for degrees, rad is for radians. We're not doing radians right now. We will do radians later. Right now, everything's just in degrees, so you want to make sure it says deg on it or it's in degrees. If you have your own physical calculator, you may have to check the mode and make sure it's degrees and not radians. But yeah, if you do sine of 13 degrees, you'll get 0.2249, etc. It's an infinitely long decimal number. But we're going to write that down, and on our assignment, it wants us to round to the nearest 100th. That's the second decimal place. So all you need to write down is that decimal. 0.224 rounds to just 0.22. So that's why I'm going to put 0.22. And you can do any of these other ones. Go ahead and try out tangent of 23 all by yourself. All right, I put tangent of 23 degrees and got 0.424, which rounds to 0.42. 0.42. Hooray! So that's how you do all of those ones. And the left side here has all sine, cosine, and tangent. The right side has all secant, cotangent, cosecant, those things. And if you look at your calculator here, it doesn't have those. You'll see sine, cosine, tangent. And if you go to the function menu, FUNC, it also is not in there. And that means we got to figure out how to do that. Luckily, if you remember our ratios set up yesterday, cosecant is equal to 1 over sine, and secant is equal to 1 over cosine. And so you're actually going to be putting in the calculator sine, cosine, and tangent, but it's going to be in this fraction of 1 over sine or 1 over cosine. So let's go to this first one. We need to do secant of 93 degrees. So we're going to do 1 over cosine of 93 degrees, because secant is 1 over cosine. And we'll put that in the calculator. And so let's go ahead and do that. We need to do 1 divided by cosine of 93 degrees. And you can push enter, and you'll see here on the right it has negative 19.107, which will round to negative 19.11. So I'll put that in, negative 19.11. Hooray, we got it figured out. And actually, over here on the left, I should have made them squiggles, because these are approximate values. We're rounding. But there you go. So that's how you do all of your right column stuff. You had to do 1 over sine or cosine or tangent. And there you go. You should be able to finish up now.